I'm here with my friend Adam from Plugged In. Hello, Adam.
How you doing, Andy?
I'm fine. I've missed our little ramp moment, and it's been nearly a month
Yes,
since I've seen you.
I know. Just like that. It vanishes. Time, you know?
Yes, it really does. It's like water in your hand. It really does slip away. It's
It
if you were
it
younger, make the most of life.
boy, that is the truth. Yes. And if you haven't started your retirement account, even if you don't have any money, do it.
It creeps upon you fast, doesn't it? And you've
Yes.
had my wife's been chatting to you the last few times, which has been fine. She says
Yeah, it's been
Adam's
great.
really nice. Yes, I know. I said
Well,
he's
I feel
great.
the same about her. She's lovely.
Right. So plugged in.
Yes.
What have you been listening, watching, reading, playing of late?
Man, tons of stuff. We have a lot to catch up on.
Good.
So let's start with Elio, which is Pixar's new movie. It is in theaters this weekend, and it is about a middle school age boy whose parents have both unfortunately died recently because, it's a Disney movie. We don't want to leave any parents alive if we can avoid it. I digress already. He's being raised by his aunt Olga, and he feels very alone. He feels misunderstood. He feels isolated. He is aware that the American Space Association or NASA has attempted to contact aliens. He thinks aliens are a splendid idea. He would like to be abducted by them. So he sends a message saying, I will be here at a certain time. Come and get me. And they do. They're very helpful aliens in that respect. So he meets and makes a friend of an alien boy named Glorden. Think Gordon, only with an L jammed in the middle. And Glorden is sort of like half slug, half shark. That would be the way I would
Okay.
describe him. Maybe Schlark or anyway. I won't do any more than that. If my kids were here, they would be groaning, but they give me lots of practice. And they have an adventure because it turns out Glorden's dad is trying to take over the universe, and the son, well, Glorden's not on board with that. So they work to stop him. Turns out dad's not all completely a bad guy. And Olga, the aunt that's raising Elio, she has sacrificed a lot. So what we get is a Pixar movie that feels like a lot of Pixar movies. It works for kids. And then there's this whole meta thematic, layer beneath it about family, about struggle, about the reality of life that I think parents will enjoy too. So we've got a couple jump scares. It's kind of very, very quietly implied, obviously, if we have alien life, that evolution is a thing, but the movie doesn't really talk about it to speak of. So, not too much here that I would say, oh, that's a deal killer. Pretty fun movie, and it feels like we've had a couple in a row from Pixar that have resisted the urge to preach all kinds of social messages at us, and instead just a rollicking tale about a boy and his friend named Glorden saving the universe.
I have two questions. Did the
Yes.
aliens land in America?
Oh, probably. I'm not even sure. Yeah, I think so.
I ask only because in the film Monsters versus Aliens, there's this
Yes.
brilliant line in the middle of it. And of course, America, the only place that aliens ever land in.
Right.
I was just, it was
Well,
really funny.
but I will take a little bit of issue with that because we had Independence Day
Well, exactly.
in which the aliens blew up every capital on Earth, which was really jolly good fun, right? For the film goers. Like I remember when I'm watching in 1996 and they blew up the White House, I'm like, oh, that was kind of interesting. But then they blow up, I forget, the Eiffel Tower and London Bridge and all
Yep.
sorts of other things. And so, I think you're right. American film goers tend to have aliens invade America. But, why not Congo or Czechoslovakia or Indonesia,
Well,
right?
yes, but that's why I
Jakarta.
liked.
Next time, Jakarta.
Absolutely. That's why I liked Monsters versus Aliens because they took the mick out of all the films where the only place that aliens ever seem to appear is North
Yeah.
America. I mean, there's
Yep.
nowhere else on the earth that has a landing pad, quite
Uh,
clearly.
well, clearly that's true. But if you want to do a deep dive into the UFO believer realm, it seems like there are UFOs everywhere, right? So,
very much.
But
Well,
anyway, now we're really off target. My wife and I have been watching the X-Files from the 90s. So,
wow.
we've had UFOs on the brain and sometimes you just got to go back and pick up something from a long time ago.
Do you know what I was shocked by? I was watching Top Gear in the UK on the BBC many, many years ago, and
Yes.
the actress who plays the female, obviously star
Yeah.
in the X Files, I didn't know that she has a completely British accent because I'd only ever seen her as an
Right.
American. I didn't
Yeah,
know
she's
she was
British.
British. I didn't know.
Yeah, Gillian Anderson, very
Yeah,
British.
it
And
completely
and
threw
and
me
this is, again, as we're kind of known, you and I, for getting off on our little tangents.
a little bit.
I don't know how you could turn an accent on and off like that. Like, I just don't. I mean, I can talk in a manufactured accent, but it sounds silly to me because I wasn't born there. It's not real. But they just turn it on and off, and it's crazy. So
I guess that's why they get paid to do what they do, and you and I
that's
don't.
right. You and I talk in the accent that God gave us. So
Any film producers, if you want a ranting couple of guys from the US, UK, we're there for you to have a rant about anything whatsoever. What else have you been up to recently?
well, we should probably back up and hit How to Train Your Dragon, which of course is a live action reboot or remake of the 2010 animated movie. And, you have to say live action with an asterisk C note below because, most of it's still CGI. So it's really just a different form of animation. But we get the story of Hiccup and Toothless the dragon as they try to convince the people of Berk that dragons aren't bad. Dragons are our friends. And it's pretty much a beat for beat remake of the original. And a pretty lovely film. Although I will say, just like we saw with the Lion King live action remakes, when you make something photorealistic, it feels more realistic. So I think that has the effect of making the violence feel more intense. And so for little ones, again, yeah, it might be a little bit on the intense side. But if you liked the original, I don't think you're going to be doing the face palm thing with this one. Like some of Disney's remakes, you're like, man, what were they thinking? But this is a really lovely movie.
I'm reaching up to the top of my desk because I'm a bit of a Dragons fan. So I actually
Oh,
do have a little Toothless,
there
and
you
it's the
have
one
it.
with the blue tail, if you know which
Oh,
film that's from.
that
So there
is
you go.
excellent. Was
So
that
that's
the
on my
third
monitor.
one?
I can't remember.
No, I don't remember either.
It
So,
sits on my monitor. It was a little gift from one of my kids, and we love the
so have you
Dragons.
seen the remake yet, Andy?
No, we haven't. We got into it with the cartoon, the little short series. We bought
Yeah.
the DVDs of those. I absolutely adore them. Every so often we
Yep.
go back around and watch them again. I
Yes.
really like the films, even though some of the actor voices are slightly different. Okay, we understand that.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't think it's an old man thing. I don't understand why they're taking all the films that are cartoons and making cartoons that are the same as the cartoon that's now a cartoon, but we don't call it a cartoon. It's like an adult cartoon, but it's not. It's why? Does
Yeah.
anybody understand? I don't understand this.
I don't understand either.
I mean, money,
So,
clearly, but
well, yeah, money. That
even
actually, we
so,
just answered the question,
I,
didn't we?
yes, answer the question with an answer. Right. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be absolutely brilliant cinematographically. Yes, of course it will be, but I just, I like the original cartoons, and I can't see how it's going to be that much different when it's identical, except for the fact that rather than
Yep.
a cartoon that looks like a cartoon, it's a cartoon that looks less like a cartoon, but we know is still a cartoon, but pretends not to be,
Right.
even though it says it is.
I
I,
okay, maybe just skip it and live in the past then. I
I,
think I think
I
that we have
just,
come to your action point for this is everybody can see it except for you because
yeah.
it's just clearly it's just going to make you angry, right?
I don't understand. It's the same. At least make a variation, a live action, the next bit along
Yeah.
when Toothless comes back and lives with the people or something. But
Yeah.
I just,
Yep.
is it an old man thing? I don't know. I don't think it is actually.
Well, it is an old man thing, but
Probably.
I'm right there with you so we can
Thank
have a
you.
support group.
Yeah. Would you like to give us one more thing?
Yeah, so let's talk about a book. The book is called Ember Gold, and this one is about a dragon as well. This is a book by a Christian author, and I would say there's a light Christian allegory with some spiritual themes in here. And this is about a girl named Gilda who she has been raised in a village, in a community that has, wouldn't you know it, a contentious relationship with a dragon. But her father comes back apparently from a battle with the dragon and says, well, we've made a deal and we all need to go see the dragon. And he takes Gilda with him and then sort of gives his daughter as tribute to the dragon and leaves. And she realizes that her father has done her really badly here. But then a strange thing happens. She goes to live with the dragon, and we get kind of a Beauty and the Beast / Stockholm syndrome kind of effect, because she falls in love with the dragon, who can also transform into a human boy named Will, which is helpful. But it turns out that he's a pretty good guy, and her dad is kind of a jerk. And so this is the story of Embergold, and the dragon has a fire within him that sort of is emblematic of temptation that has to be mastered. So if you read it from a Christian perspective, you're going to have all sorts of moments where you're like, aha, I know what that is about. That's about temptation. That's about sin. That's about fallenness and brokenness, that sort of thing. So I wouldn't probably read this book to really young kids. It's aimed at a little bit older audience, I would say, a teen audience. It's a young adult kind of book. But unlike, it seems like, every other young adult fantasy novel out there these days, which is full of sex and profanity and nastiness, this one doesn't have any of those things. So I would say it's a great alternative to a lot of the stuff. I just feel like the young adult thing, it's sort of turned into a race to the bottom with lots of content. So Embergold, it's a good alternative.
Amber Gold, I quite like the sound of that. It's got.
Yes.
I like dragons. I don't know why. There's
dragons.
something. I mean, I have my own dragon on my monitor. I really do.
Right? I like dragons
although that
too.
was a gift. Right, Adam. Thank you. Plugged In. How can we get everything that you have and more?
You can come to pluggedin.com and you'll find links to everything. We have a blog. We have a podcast. We're doing a lot of stuff on YouTube these days, just conversations, a lot like this one. So come to Plugged In Movie Reviews on YouTube and you can see our content there. And we, of course, Andy, are a ministry of focus on the family.
Adam, as ever, from Plugged In, thank you very much.
You bet. Thank you.
The June issue of Pure Media, the magazine, comes out on Friday the 7th of June with a whole host of international writers speaking on life, faith, sports, technology, joy and more from our family to yours. In the June edition, we shine the spotlight on Sherry Seligson, a marine biologist from Florida, and Chris Kerr, who helps us focus and celebrate on dads. Sign up today and enjoy all of this and more at www.puremediathemagazine.com.